So the very first thing I do when preparing for a litter is to thoroughly clean the nursery. Here I'm just vacuuming and making sure that the floor is clean. I will also remove all of the bedding and blankets and hammocks from the litter that just went home a few days prior to my making this recording. You will see a cameo of one of the kittens that hadn't gone home quite yet, but she did go home during the day that I recorded this, so she does make a quick appearance. I always give everything a thorough wipe down. This includes the sides of the cages and the floors. I will even use this mop. It's just a spin mop, which I love this brand because it folds up so you can get the walls and the sides like this. But I'll go along the exposed sides or walls of the room, about 2.5 feet up the wall, and just get it really, really clean. You can see I have a little supervisor here who is hunting my mop. So once the floors are dry, I'll start to place whelping boxes around the nursery, and I will cover them, each of them, with a blanket. They're just old blankets we've had for a long time, and this will block out the light and create a cave-like place for her to choose from to have her kittens in. Cats love to have their babies in small spaces that are dark, places that they feel are going to be safe. And then I will tuck up a corner to just show that this is a little cave where she can have her babies if she chooses this spot, as I will make a few more. And here she comes, looking to see what I'm up to. Here's another whelping box that I'm setting up for her. Again, covering it with a blanket, and then I will get it all tucked and create a little entryway for her. This is in another section of the room. Later on in the video, I'm going to show you a full roundabout of the nursery, so you'll see where this was located. But I like to give her, any of my queens, multiple options to choose from, as they can get picky and they'll choose one box one time or one spot one time, only to change their mind for another litter and want something else. So this is a cage. It is pretty big. It just looks small in this video. That's just an old towel I'm placing in there. And I'll take the door off. And of course, I'll put a blanket on top of there. You want to give your queens multiple options if you're able to. This way they feel like they have control over where they're having their babies, and they feel so much more comfortable that way. I'm going to make a little entryway again. Just tuck it up. This will actually be the box that she chooses to have her kittens in. While I've been setting up the nursery, I have found that Nell keeps trying to get under this couch. She can't fit because she's too big and too pregnant. There's only about 5 inches, just under 5 inches clearance under there. This is the first time I'm having a litter that is born where this couch is accessible to the mama cat. So if you've ever had a litter, or if you know anything about cats having litters, is they won't care about any of these other whelping boxes that I've set up. They're only going to care about the underside of this couch because it is for them the most concealed spot in the room. Look at all that space, guys. She could stand up in there. So if you see this, this is a partition that I made. It's not there for any reason other than to store it like that. It folds, they all bend in opposite directions, so it can actually fold up like an accordion and be pushed somewhere, but I like it like that just because I know it's not gonna fall over. It fits there just fine. It's completely out of the way. It doesn't take up any closet space like that. I built that so that I could create another sectioned off area if I ever needed to. At one point I did because I had 3 litters at one time and I didn't have any extra cages or cage pieces or time to build one. So it just happened that I had older kittens that had not gone to their forever homes yet. And then I had 2 litters that came in behind them. So because of this, this couch is going to be temporarily relocated into another area so that she doesn't try to deliver under there, or after the kittens are delivered, try to move them all under there. I would hate to have to figure out how to get all of them out from under there. So this is going to be placed in another room. So that's something you're going to want to think about when you are setting up your nursery. Are there spaces like this where my cat is going to try to go and have her babies without me being able to access them? Anytime I have a queen that will be delivering soon, I move into the nursery with them. I purchased a camping cot, I guess you would call it. It folds up and for storage. And that's just a padding for the bed. Nell really likes it. And I will sleep in here. I'll start sleeping in here 2 to 3 nights before their window of expectancy. At the time of this recording, I did not know that my tag was sticking out, but I found that out after the recording, so it just is what it is. Okay, so let's talk about supplies for labor. So I have a towel, and that is something that I can put in there as we go, as things start to get messy. It's good to have a big towel. Paper towels are nice because I can lay a couple paper towels out, put something down on it that might be yucky and keep it up off the ground, and then wrap it up in the paper towel and toss it. A plethora of grocery bags for labor is also something I keep on hand for garbage and dirty laundry. Treats, of course, because you want to make sure that they've got something that they like, that they're going to eat. It's something quick and not messy. I feed raw, so raw can be messy. We've got the Oracal Plus, and this is something that we start to give a couple days before, and then we'll give throughout on her Labor Day. Nurture Mate is a colostrum supplement. Some breeders like to give it right away or within the first day. I like to just have it on hand in case I've got one that's maybe not latching. I don't give it to everybody. It's not like my go-to, everybody gets it kind of thing. The mucus trap, I turned it this way just so you could see the name of it. I really like this one. I get it from Amazon. And unfortunately, they have it in this little bag inside the bag, so you can't really see it. But it's essentially 2 tubes connected to a trap. And the trap you can twist open or twist closed, and you can use that to suck out their nose and mouth. And it's very small, the end for where you would put it. And I would just slide it in their mouth to the cheek and kind of swoosh around in there a little bit. And you suck with your mouth on the other side. Clean cut, I have on hand. I don't always use it. It's like a betadine. They say, and now this is made for dogs and cats, so the size is not really suitable for cats.
because if you see the mouth of it is pretty big. And what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to shake it, of course, take the cap off, and then lay the baby's belly on it, and then flip baby and bottle over, and then back. But you can always use a Q-tip or something else to apply it. I don't always use it. It just depends on whether or not the umbilical cord was either trimmed by myself too short, which doesn't happen often, and I'll show you that once we get into some actual labor videos, and or if she is detaching the baby from the placenta and she does it too close. This, of course, is just a nighttime pee-pee pad. You can get the ones for people or the ones for puppies. It doesn't matter. The ones for people are cheaper. These are the ID bands that I use. They're Velcro. You can trim them. They're amazing. I think you can get this for $4 or $5 off of Amazon. I actually couldn't find my pack, and so I bought a new pack only to find my pack once I started pulling everything out. So there's that. Gloves. I have one glove there. I've got a new box I got to open. I know where that is, so I don't have to buy a new box. But gloves, I don't keep my gloves on the whole time. I wash my hands. But if something happens, I had to touch something and I got to go back to something, I'll have gloves on hand for that. I've got scissors, the small scissors, and clamp. And these are in a Ziploc bag with a paper towel because they were sterilized from the last litter, and now they are in a Ziploc, and that's the way that I store them between litters being born. So I would clamp. You want to clamp as far away from the kitten as possible, and then you want to cut on the opposite side of the clamp and leave that on there for a little while, but we'll go over that again when we're in active labor. Okay, so these are just washcloths. Some of them, most of them are white, just because I kind of made that the cat kitten washcloths of the house, so that the colored ones we know are for people and the white ones we know are for cats. There are a couple in there that just I used and then they ended up being bleached because everything gets bleached between litters, and they are no longer their color. They're just a funny color. So this, and then of course with your plethora of grocery bags, you'll have this on hand and then a grocery bag for laundry as you go. So I'll swipe underneath her, or if you, it's easier with a washcloth because it's not bulky. It's just something that you can use. You can put a kitten inside of it and give it a good rub and get it cleaned up to help mama as she moves on to her next kitten. And then you can also lay it on top of kittens to keep them warm in between. Lots of great uses for those. Just cleaning up the space inside the whelping boxes, having all of those. Now, I'm not even sure how many I have. I've been collecting them over the years as I've been breeding. And whenever they go on sale, I'll just buy another pack. I probably won't buy one for a while because I've got quite a bit. So that's that. And then one other thing. So you need to have a scale. I like this type of scale. I don't know what it's called, the type of scale that it is. It's not digital. I like it not digital. You can put any kind of anything on here. I like these pans because they're lightweight and I can wash them easily. I throw a washcloth in there before I put a baby in. So that's why you see that it's a little bit off on the weight. It also has a little dial inside there that can be twisted to adjust based on whatever you use on the top. And then of course your chart, and that'll align with whichever collar you've placed on the kitten. And this way you can keep track of your kitten's weights because you want to make sure that they're gaining every day.
So Nell has started to experience the beginnings of labor. So she's just hanging out with me. And here she's gone into a whelping box. And I'm just laying there with her and letting her know that I'm here for her if she needs anything. She does like for me to have my arm in there and have it near her. You will be changing positions many times. She, at various times, will come out of the whelping box and lay somewhere else, and then she'll go back into the whelping box. As their labor progresses, they'll start to get restless and they'll move around in the nursery. So she'll go from the whelping box to my bed up here, and she's just trying to get herself comfortable. During this time of labor, her body is getting all the kittens in position for her to start to be able to push. Some queens like to be close and be petted. Some queens don't want to be close. They just go in their box or they walk around. And if you try to go near them, they'll walk away. Some of them don't want to be petted but want to be near you. You will learn your queen or queens if you have multiple, and each of them will be different. So I'm just here letting her know that I am here for her, that I'm not going anywhere. I'm just talking to her quietly and sweetly. We're in the nursery alone. She has a quiet space. I do have the TV on because this part of laboring can take many hours. Sometimes it doesn't, but it can take many hours, and I don't want to just be sitting in there not watching or doing anything. So I do have the TV on during laboring. One of the things queens will do during this labor process is a lot of cleaning. They will clean their coat, they will clean their paws, they will heavily groom themselves. Look at her looking at Mama. Nell and I have a very close relationship, and I think it's very important to establish that type of relationship with the queens. Something that is an interesting fact and important to know is that cats can hold back labor. They can also stop labor and delivery. So if you are to leave the room, they will follow you. They can stop labor and say, okay, well, we're not doing this right now. One year, I had a grandchild that was going to be born, and I also had a litter that was due. It was Nell, the same mama. And so I had to be away during the same time that she was due because my daughter was in labor. And so I had to leave and go. And Nell waited until I came back to go into labor. So she went so far as 71 days to wait for me to come back before she would go into labor and start having her kittens. If they were in the wild, if they were outside, this would allow them, if they felt like they were in danger or if they were no longer in a safe place to have their kittens, this would allow them to move the kittens that they may have already delivered into a safer place and then continue their labor somewhere else. Her little toe stretches as she's getting her little rub down. There will be moments of resting for them as they are starting to get ready for active labor. So you can see that she still is laboring, as you can watch her belly moving up and down. She's not had contractions as of yet. She's still just in that place where her body is starting to move the kittens down closer to her pelvis. But you can tell on her face and in her eyes and in her stare that she's starting to get into the zone. All right, now this is what we're wanting to look for. There's that open mouth panting. That is, I'm going to push soon. So I got everything out and set up. So this is the mucus trap. Hi, BB. She's coming in and out of there, probably because I'm not sticking my head in there. So this is the piece that you would suck on. And then this is your plug. I pushed it in. It's like a plug. And yeah, that goes in there. And then this is what you would stick in the kitten's mouth. It's got 2 holes on either side. You can pinch those to get a better suction. And then it'll trap everything in here. This is where she's chosen to go at this point. As you watch Mama's belly, you'll start to see her contract. There'll be little ones, and then there'll be big ones. Here comes a big one. It's okay. There we go. All right. There we go. You'll see she moves in back into the carrier, and the baby goes with her because she's still attached by the umbilical cord, and the umbilical cord is still attached to the placenta, which is still inside the mama. And I'm just going to clear the kitten's passageways here. This is not Nell's first litter, and she has a lot of trust in me. So she's going to let me go ahead and take that baby out of there and clean it up while she grooms herself. The first kitten born is always a little bit more difficult than the subsequent ones. Here I'm just giving it a little rub just to make sure that everything is moving around and flowing. I'm going to clamp off this umbilical cord, which is attached to the placenta. Once I cut it, it's going to need to go somewhere, so I'm going to put a paper towel under there. And I'm going to clamp this umbilical cord on the placenta side. Now I'm going to give the placenta to Nell because she is going to eat that. It is very important. It has a lot of nutrients in it, and it is going to give her all the energy she needs to continue with her labor and to help her with her milk supply. I hear some breeders say, oh, the mama cat doesn't have milk. There are actually things inside the placenta that cause the mom's body to know to start producing milk. And so if you don't allow them to eat the placenta, if you take them away, that could be a cause for why your mama cat is not producing the milk that she's going to need for her babies. Here I'm just going to dry him off a little bit because that's going to help mama. She's going to be busy delivering more kittens, and so I want to make sure he's as dry as possible. I'm going to go ahead and get all that stuff off of him and check to see what he is. Boy. Got a black male, born first as a boy. When drying the kittens, now is a good time to start looking over the kitten for any issues that the kitten might have been born with, any limb disorders or anything like that. This is a nice, healthy male, and so he doesn't have any issues, but that's something to do when you have the chance to. Here, I'm just gonna go over the kitten's nose one more time just to make sure that I've cleared it as much as I can. Kittens are also created to sneeze as well after they're born in the days that follow in order to clear those passages. So don't be alarmed if you hear your kitten sneezing. That's just what their bodies do to help clear those passages. It doesn't mean that they were sick. And now I'm just going to give the bottom of that cage just a quick wipe before I put him back in there, just to try to keep things from getting too slippery. And just put him right back in there for Mama. Now this is something to expect. It doesn't look the nicest, but that's what mama cats do. They clean them and they try to get that umbilical cord. Don't be alarmed by that. That's just the way it is. And sometimes I'll set the kittens to the side on a heating blanket under a towel just to get them out of the way so that they don't get stepped on while mama's delivering a kitten. Here's a baby coming. All right. Nobody likes to see this either, but this is just reality. They do need to eat those placentas. It's just so important. They're so important for their energy to continue laboring as well as their milk supply. And those babies are going to go straight for the milk. Even while mommy is still laboring, they are going to go for those nipples. Mama's just back there cleaning in between delivering. After Mama cleans the kittens all up, they are going to look dry and shiny. Aren't they cute? After they're born, I normally will turn the light out and leave the room and give Mama time to just relax and decompress. So I didn't record that bit because there's nothing to record because I wasn't in the room. But after a little while, I'm going to come back and I'm going to start putting their collars on and getting their weights. As you can see, Mama's going to come out and check on me after each kitten because she's going to hear them crying. She's going to want to know what's going on. And so immediately after collaring them and weighing them, I'm going to give them right back to Mama. So I normally will measure the first one and then all the rest will be the same size. And these are just those Velcro collars from the beginning of the video. I'm going to give each kitten a little look over and get those collars on them. Once I get their weights, I'm going to write it on a piece of paper and I'm going to do that every day.
I'm just measuring them.
What a good mama. Look at her checking on her baby. When putting the collars on, I always make sure to leave extra because they are going to grow so fast. here's the sweet babies. They are just a couple days old in this video, all snuggled up with each other near mommy. There she is. She's just going to spend all the days with them. She'll come out to eat and to use the bathroom. And don't expect them to make a poop for a few days. Sometimes that takes a few days for them to have their first bowel movement after having a litter. But they should still be eating and urinating. Oh, sweet little faces. Don't mind my son there in the background yelling at his game. That's just the life of having boys. Enjoy these sweet babies. And here they are at just 2 weeks old, just tumbling around, being as cute as can be. Such a good mama. Good luck with your preparations and delivery. Thanks for watching.